Taliban rejects that account, saying instead that the strike hit a religious school during a graduation and killed dozens of civilians. It's not clear which of the accounts is correct. However, a number of children have been treated for wounds at a local hospital. Bilal Sarwary is in Kabul. He joins us now live with more. Just bring us up to speed. There have been conflicting accounts. Do we know any more about what exactly happened?
We know from doctors in the capital of Kunduz province that at least 5 bodies are there at the hospital. At least 50 people are wounded. All of them have been described to me by those doctors as civilians, including children. We have seen footage and pictures of villagers waiting, angry villagers waiting outside of the hospital. Afghan officials are very adamant, at least those at the Ministry of Defense, that they targeted a known Taliban training center. But other Afghan officials speaking to Afghan media and international media, including myself, are saying that at least 1,000 people were attending this religious ceremony, the graduation of students, and children were also attending. So there are fears that civilians as well as militants are among those killed. This is the Afghan Air Force carrying out these strikes. It's not really clear what justification was provided to the pilots, who really need a green signal from someone either in Kabul or Kunduz to carry out those attacks. Kunduz is the bleeding wound in northern Afghanistan. It's one of the provinces in north from where the Taliban started their activities in the last 7 years or so. And Dasht-e-Archi district is where most of the Taliban leadership for the province hails from. So this is actually a huge blow for any possible peace talks, which is what we were hearing in the last week or so, both from Afghan and Western officials.
Let's talk a little bit about the Dasht-e-Archi district. I mean, how strategic is it?
It's very strategic. It lies on the border with Tajikistan. Kunduz is the breadbasket of Afghanistan, and then Dasht-e-Archi is really the breadbasket of Kunduz province. We know that the Taliban and other militant groups actually profit from the wheat, rice, and many other agricultural products. It's also a province from where accusations have been leveled against the Taliban for crossing inside Tajikistan, crossing the river, from where they get help from Russian officials. We have seen in the last 1 week or so angry reactions both from Russian as well as Tajik officials saying that the U.S. general here in Afghanistan was simply hiding his failures by blaming those countries. But what is very clear, that both sides are actually not only talking about fighting, but both sides are actually fighting each other on the battlefield. When there has been some hope of possible peace talks, we actually now know that this year, unfortunately, looks like a very bloody and brutal year. But imagine children growing up in a village, in a remote valley, or in a place like Dasht-e-Archi. They will look up to the Afghan skies as a source of fear. And I think that's the sad story of this country for the last 40 years or so. Whoever has really come here, their jets have taken over to the countryside, and they've really bombed those villages. So I think those memories will be better, and it will only create more fear among the ordinary population.